Hey, good night. How y'all doing? This is KLA, Cloud the Wanderer. Along with me is all the rage George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. And this is a continuation of the topic we were talking about nights ago, the night we traveled to 2000, 1990s and 2000 female bodybuilding. And, for some reason, I just wanted to continue doing it a bit. That I felt that, there were certain things I probably could have talked about a little bit. And, I'm not, this ain't live. This is just a video. And um, I'm going to showcase some bodybuilders. And one of bodybuilders is from the 2000s, Alina Popa. And Alina Popa, she made her pro debut at the 2010 Arnold Miss International, and she competed most majority of the 2000s. And her last show was 2014 Miss Olympia, and she got second place to Iris Kyle, who beat her. And yeah,
Actually, make a correction. Actually, her last competition was 2018 when she won the Rising Phoenix champion. You got to remember, Alina's also a Rising Phoenix champion. You know.
okay, yeah, I forgot. I wasn't, I didn't follow everything about Lena, but yeah, but she competed majority of the 2000s and 2010s. So yeah, she's now a promoter of the Romania Muscle Fest. Yeah, so
Also, she has her own show, the Alina Popa Classic. She has two shows in Romania. That's her home country.
okay, okay. I just thought it was one show. So
No, the Alina comes like it started out a couple of years ago, and it comes before the Randy Muscle Fest, which comes in November. It's going to be about the same weekend as the Steve Carr show, which is coming up this year too.
okay. Yeah, yeah, she always admired Alina. She had a nice physique. Yeah, she still looked good, and yeah, I could show some pictures also of Alina. I kind of with Alina, something else stands with me. She also did sessions and stuff, but I'm not gonna go too deep into it. But yeah, that's how I
Hmm.
I was kind of fond with Alina. And this is her in the present, you know. I think she was in the New York Pro in this picture.
No, this is actually Triple O. That's Lisa
Oh,
Winston.
triple O.
Yeah,
Oh,
because you know,
it
remember
looks it
the
looks almost looked like the triple, almost looked like New York Pro.
yeah, yeah, that was Triple O. And also, I got to meet Alina. Was it back in 2022 when I went to my first badminton show in Savannah? She was training Tina Williams, Big Keith's wife, and I saw her there. I said, hello, I want to say hello to you, and and Keith and Tina wanted me to say hello to you.
Yeah. Well, another shit. Hold up, I'm coming back.
All right. Well, he's away, folks. So I'll give a little conversation here. He'll be back. As you know, Lena is originally from Romania, and she's been a pro for quite some time. Now, she competed in the Olympia from 2012 and to
Yeah,
2014.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, another competitor is Candy Canary, and started competing in the 2000s and stuff, and you know, and at one point she retired, and then she came back. She was a missionary at one point, and it's just some pictures of her back in the time she was competing.
She had great
So
potential. She had an amazing body. Just, I feel like she stayed in just a little longer. She probably could have turned pro.
yeah, I don't follow too much on Candy. Do you?
Well, I knew when she left, she was a ordained minister, so she got into missionary work. Then, she was married. This was her second husband because she has two children from her first husband. Also, she was also in the Air Force. She was enlisted in the Air Force. Then, she was going through some stuff. I heard one story was her and her husband trying to get pregnant, and then she had a miscarriage. And then, it was a couple years ago. She actually came back to compete. She did the USA's in 20. I think it was 2024, 2023. I think 2024, and she was competing for the heavyweight, but didn't get a pro card there.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Do you know if she's competing now or getting ready for a
No,
show?
no, I don't really follow that much. I reached out a couple of times by some interview, but it just didn't get together. So I just say, you know what, no. I think she's been whatever issue she had in the past is whatever reason she came back. I think it was what happened in her life before. And she had a lot of potential. She was kind of like if you compare it to somebody from the '90s, Tina Lockwood. But unlike Tina, we see her now today. Tina's just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got some clips of back in the day with Geraldo, with Kim Chevesky.
I mean, your arms are definitely bigger than mine. I mean, I feel like a little. Let me see. Okay, let's strike a pose. Now look at this body. Look at it. I mean, can I? I just like a fringe benefit. I know you got a husband who's a monster, but oh my God! I mean, what happens when you do close dancing? That is wild. So is that your best feature?
Actually, my legs.
Your legs. Oh, let's
My
see it
legs are
again.
even better
Yeah. Look at that.
than the arms.
All right, let me ask. All right, stay there. I want to ask one of the ladies in the audience. Here, stand. Do you think that's feminine? Would you like to have legs like that?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Oh, please don't expand. Do you think it is? I mean, how do you feel about it? Feminine bodybuilding.
Oh, I think they look great. I'm going to go home and never look in the mirror again.
Oh, no, don't say that. And what a tan. Where did that come from?
Bottle.
Oh, okay. Now, Sharon?
Yeah, she always stood out for me. She was Miss Olympia, and I know she did a movie with Jennifer Lopez at one time. She was in the cell. She had like a small role and stuff like that. But yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
Like
truthfully, this,
she just won the 1999 Miss Olympia.
mhm. yeah,
Okay. I just
that
want
was
to make sure.
yeah, that was the last Olympics she did, and that was the biggest she was. And people talk about Iris, but really, when Kim competed that year, she kind of changed the look because she came in. I think it's the most matches she came in between '99 and '98.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Third. I mean, third. Well, that's the fourth person
Yes.
we got is Iris Kyle. Speaking of the devil, um, 10-time Miss Olympia. She mostly competed in the 2000s and 2010s and stuff. Um, I know you could say more on her than me, so
Well, she did
you
come.
could.
She wanted to compete when they started the Rising Phoenix, but there was a lot of, I would say, BS that happened, saying that she had to compete to get. But here, the thing is, she's a 10-time Miss Olympia. There should be no question. But the problem was there was always she got a lot of not slack, so much, a lot of dirt put on her because she was so dominant. But the problem is, if they didn't want her to win, they could have those last 2 years they could have given the title to Lena Popa, but they gave it to Iris. And then
Mm.
she did come back in 2020 when they brought back women's bodybuilding to the Olympia, but she didn't compete because she got sick that day. And that was, I think, a lot of people were waiting to see the return of Iris Kyle. And now she's her and her partner and friend. I think Hideki, they run their business in Vegas. She trains other competitors. She's still among really fans. She's a popular woman in sport. Some competitors come to her powerhouse gym in Vegas and train for free post the Olympia.
Yeah. There's another clip of her. Yeah, that was her competing. I think like 1999,
No, I think it was 2000 because 99.
2000.
Yeah, that's 2000 because he did compete in 99 Olympia, but that had to be 2000 because the it's a bigger stage. The 99 stage was really small because that was the year you didn't sell enough tickets and had a low showing for women's bodybuilding that year. That was the year when you had the weight classes. I think that was 2000. Yeah, most definitely.
Okay, okay. Well, there's I got another clip of the Janatana with
Santana.
Kathy Lee Jantana, Kathy Lee Francois, and another lady.
Is what women's bodybuilding is all about and where they want it to go. She is beautiful, Tommy. She has an excellent physique. I would like to see her sharper. If she is sharp, she can place top 3 at a Miss Olympia contest.
She's been training for 10 years, Steve, and 10 years competing. She must have started out with a pretty outstanding physique to begin with. Good genetics definitely took its toll here.
I think a lot of the women, when they go into the pro ranks, believe they have to carry more size than they should. Kathy is one of them. I think coming in a little lighter, a little leaner, would give her even more of an advantage with her symmetry and structure.
You're right, Steve, because then we'd see a lot more of the lines. The genetics would be even cleaner and more apparent at that point. But I'll tell you what, I'm enjoying this. Look at this routine. Very nice. It's creative. It's showing muscularity and the human form to its definite best.
We always talk about publicity, Tommy. Kathy, no matter what happens here, will get a lot of it because she is photogenic.
Steve, another thing that the magazines love to photograph, that is muscle. And certainly our next competitor, Mary Ellen Jarumbo, at 5'2", 143 pounds of muscle, definitely personifies that. Look at this gal. She's in great shape, Steve. Where do you think she's lacking?
That hurts her.
Perhaps the lack thereof, Steve, would be a better way of putting it. You know, after 14 years of professional bodybuilding, if her symmetry hasn't come up by now, it's just not going to happen. Perhaps it's due to a conflict between the two loves, bodybuilding and powerlifting. You can't take anything away from Mary's condition here, however, and part of that has to do with...
Yeah, so I got this clip so from somewhere, and it surprisingly it was Fox Sports. I remember you was telling me that back in the day, they would showcase it in Fox Sports. So yeah, I know Kathy LeFrancois, in women's physique world and stuff. And the other lady also, if I'm not mistaken. So, but I don't know a whole lot about them. I know Kathy, she's Canadian or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so.
Yeah. Kathy originally from Canada. She competed quite a few years. She was also married to Lee Priest. They were married for a couple of years. And then Kathy took a step back. She did figure for a bit. And then after a while, that wasn't doing so good. So she came back to bodybuilding. She did it for at least about the part of the early 90s. And then she retired. Her and Lee got divorced after a couple of years. And I think she got remarried about 10 years ago or so. And Mary Ellen Jarumbo, she follows me on social media. We used to talk a little bit. I was hoping to get on for an interview. She was the very most consistent woman, and she done Gentana several times, almost every year. Gentana was one of the few exclusively. It was like before the Rising Phoenix, in in the Arizona Pro. It was one of the most exclusively women's bodybuilding show for both pro and amateurs. It was like a, it was a, like I said again, it was the third top show for women's bodybuilding for Olympia qualification.
Okay. All right. I guess they don't have Jan 10 no more, right?
No, it ended around I think 2005. They stopped it one time, they brought it back, and then that promoter she couldn't clip it anymore because again, women's bodybuilding is not as popular. It was right. They used to have it. It was right here in the South. They had it either in Virginia or in my backyard of Charlotte. I wish I could go, but the time I didn't have a license, I didn't have the money to go, and I was working two jobs. With two jobs, you still couldn't, travel. Charlotte, like I said, Charlotte's only like a 2 hour drive, but I didn't ever say we drive that much.
Okay. All right. Next we got Laura Cravell. Yeah, she's from Guyana, and she's competed in Miss Olympia. And yeah, she competed in the 90's. I'm not sure when she stopped. Yeah.
Well, she took a break, I think, right after '99. Came back in
Okay.
2002, and she competed as a lightweight. And she was really, well, I remember that year when she competed, she was really like a shade of herself from this. She was just, I always thought she had a beautiful physique, a great look to her. I mean, there's a thing about her that they said that she had the worst boob jobs ever done by a female bodybuilder because her boobies always kind of slide off to the side. Like, I think it's some kind of way you do it. It's either you put them over the muscle, they protrude a little better, and if you put them under the muscle, I think they slide off to the side. But she had a great look to her. She was married, and then her husband got divorced, and now she got remarried a few years ago, and I think she's a born again Christian, and
All right. Well, amen to her. Best wishes to her. Yeah. That I have another old clip of.
The same pose from the rear as you saw from the front, only it's showing the body from the rear, the entire muscular structure. Or to turn side tricep. Now we're viewing the body from the side again, only in a different form. And again, the entire body is being judged. And ladies, to the front, abdominal and thigh. Ladies put their arms overhead, crunching down on their abdominals and flexing their thigh muscles. Thank you, ladies. Please relax back in your seat.
Thank you. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, you're going to have a chance to meet these bodybuilders up close and personal. We'll be back right after this. Susan Myers. Pick a muscle. Sit now. What do you bench press?
I bench 270.
270 for a single.
Yeah.
Most men in this world can't touch 270.
They're not trying hard enough. Probably. Well, it's something I kind of fell into. I started working out to keep my weight under control, and as I got more involved in it and learned more about it, then I said, okay, well, let me try a competition. So probably the first one was back in 82.
And in your case, when you say keep your weight under control, you were sent away a couple times to get your weight under control, were you not, when you were younger?
I was heavy when I was younger, and then I, in order to lose weight, not in order to lose weight, but I became bulimic for a long time. So.
I didn't want to play the whole thing, but yeah, that was from Montel Williams and stuff back in the day. I didn't see that one, but
I've seen that quite often. Montel was the biggest. Truthfully, he was a muscle person. He was a muscle smoke. He loves female bodybuilders. He's actually on the cover of a Muscle Development magazine. I think it's him and a couple of female bodybuilders. And I remember that episode. I mean, he quite often had like people like Linda Murray's been on there. You saw there Vicky Gates was there. Yolanda Hughes. There was also Nicole Bass. The late Melissa Coates was there. I mean, a lot of ladies. I mean, he was a big fan of women's bodybuilding.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe I did probably seen him with I probably did see it, but it was a long time ago at the time. All I know is Jenny Jones. That resonated with me, and Geraldo. I think, but I did see an episode of Montel, but not like that though. Yeah, until I started seeing on YouTube and stuff. So yeah, but you say something?
No, I say, like I said, he quite often had bodybuilders on his show because he's a big fan of them.
I believe you. I believe you. I believe you. Oh, so the next up we got a bodybuilder that I think she competed one show or something like that. Her name is Nichelle Nichols or something. She's an IFBB pro, but she stopped, and this is her. And yeah, she recently did I caught this show that she did. She played a high schooler, and she was a volleyball. She got bullied in school, and she really was excelling in volleyball, and to a point where her teammates was hating on her, and her coach was being mean to her. So there's one of the clips of it.
Look, Nichols, you're a tremendous athlete. One of the best I ever coached, honestly. But I've been getting a lot of complaints from your teammates and their parents.
Look, it's not my fault I'm built differently than the other girls. I've worked really hard to get to where I am. And our team is number one.
Look, I'm not here for the catty attitudes. I just want you and the team all on one page, okay? Let the girls shine next match. You got me?
Okay.
Go set it up, set it up. Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
So it says clearly the manager relationship, am I right?
Does she smack you around the same way she does at volleyball?
Amazing effort, guys.
It's okay. We'll get him next time. Good job.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was on Darman, one of the Darman videos. If you want to see that, check out Darman, and they have a lot of videos on, I think, like teen drama and stuff. But this one I seen where this bodybuilder Nichelle Nichols, she gets bullied as a high schooler, and she had a boyfriend who was ashamed of her. And then at one point, the other team that she was playing against, the coach approached her, and so she started playing with that team, and they had a little love interest with one of the I think the assistant coach or something like that. But yeah, so check it out. Yeah. So there's another bodybuilder. She's an American Gladiator. I forgot her name, but Love Austin Negro.
Houston. I forget the name. Yeah, I've seen her before. Her body's wow. I mean, this was last year from the Triple O, and she goes by Empire on American Gladiators.
Yeah, I got the clip out the show. Yeah, this is her. Empire, former Olympic athlete, bodybuilder, 150. Yeah, so I haven't seen the recent American Gladiators, but
Well, was on Amazon, so it's on streaming. So unless you have a streaming service, that's the only way you can watch it.
Yeah. So that there's a topic you're gonna talk about on Muscle Talk, a Muscle Talk, and this one is, I don't know, this is a bit similar, but this is Andrea Shaw with Audrey Harris. I know you talked about her before, Audrey Harris. She remind you of
Actually,
Andrea Shaw.
I say Andrea Shaw reminds me of Audrey Harris because Audrey
Yeah,
competed as a part of the '90s, and she used to be a police officer. She had
yeah.
amazing look, amazing physique. She competed for a few more years, and after that, she retired. Not much to know about her. I mean, unless somebody's out there who watched this video later, and if you know Miss Harris or Mrs. Harris, she's still married. She actually was going by Audrey Harris White. So that was her married name, White, and Harris is her maiden name. So if she's still
Okay.
going by that name, or she's changed it, or she's on social media, maybe she's not too much on social media, but maybe Facebook, but that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know you having something about the women's physique division, and they getting too big as bodybuilders and stuff. I don't know, I was mixing that up, but yeah.
Well, it goes back to how the division has evolved. It was brought in because they wanted less muscle for women's bodybuilding. But then just this weekend, you had Sarah Bradley get rewarded at the Optima Classic. And, if you go to, I have two IG accounts. My first IG account, which I, been trying to grow up a little more because, and my third IG account, my first one, I took some pictures and it was for the top 5 from each division. And Sarah looks close to women's bodybuilding. She does women's physique. I mean, her shoulders and her roundness are full, and she has more size in the quads. Her physique's supposed to be more leaner, more conditioned division. But it's the judges that are rewarding some of these athletes coming bigger and more harder, and that's the problem. There's a lot of talk. Some people are fine with it, but others not so much.
Yeah. Well, they could tune in to you on Muscle Talk Monday. Another competitor back in the day, Michelle Relegate. She competed in the 90's. Then yeah, she was a lightweight bodybuilder. I'm not sure how many shows she competed, so don't use that against me, y'all. I mean, I just seen her in magazines and stuff, and I know she competed in the 90's. So,
She's got for the Olympics. She had a great look to her, very
yeah,
appealing, very attractive, very striking. If she was competing today, I would say physique, maybe figure, because the muscle
right.
has changed. She's probably one of the smaller girls, a small because she was a lightweight when she was an amateur, and then she went up to the heavyweights. And, back then, once you became an amateur, once you become a pro, there's no weight classes, but they did put it in later on in the early 2000s.
Okay. Yeah, she's very flexible. She could have done. You think she could have done fitness? She did fitness, right? If I'm
No,
not
I'm
mistaken.
trying to remember if she did. I think she might have, because fitness came in
Yeah, I
for
think that was the one. I think I got that. Oh, damn! I didn't have the picture. I was in a rush to just upload these pictures. That's the thing too, but it's all good. Yeah. But this is another video of Nichelle Nichols, the one that I showed her with she played the high schooler.
Okay, you guys, I gotta get it off my chest and talk about the elephant in the room and competing and why I stopped. And I'm gonna talk about something that nobody in the fitness industry is willing to say out loud. So I'm an IFBB pro, okay? I won my first show, went pro. Everyone around me acted like I'd made it, right? Like it's a huge deal, okay? Here's what really happened, okay? I permanently changed my anatomy. I lost my singing voice because of something that I had my entire life, but because of what I put my body through to compete. So I'm currently having to retrain my voice, and I'm doing singing lessons just to get back to what I had before bodybuilding. And honestly, for what? So I've seen text messages where judges picked winners before the show even started. I've heard judges tell athletes that they were pegged to win regardless of the shape that they came in. I've watched women who trained half as hard walk away with trophies because of their husband being like a plastic surgeon to one of the judges that was on the panel. So I'm not telling you this because I'm bitter. I'm telling you because I've watched myself and hundreds of other women pour everything into something that was already decided before we ever even stepped on stage. So nobody talks about it because they're scared of being blacklisted. I've watched women lose their hair. I've watched women destroy their hormones. I've watched them sacrifice their femininity, go broke, chasing a promise the industry has never actually made them. It's solely just a feeling. So it's just a title. It's just the hope that it means something. And at the end of the day, it really doesn't. And your potential is worth way more than a trophy that nobody outside the industry even knows or cares about. So waste nothing, especially not yourself. So hopefully this helps.
Now, if you was interviewing her, like and if she brought that up, what would you say to her?
Well, it wasn't that long she last competed. She competed back in 2025. I'll say, well, I understand, but then you competed for this long, and you saw this how the sport was going, and you understand that this sport is a fringe sport, and the best question to ask you, didn't you realize that there's a lot of sacrifices got to be made when you become a bodybuilder. It's time, money, investment. I mean, right now she's sitting there smoking whatever she's smoking. You can talk about your voice, but also smoking cigarettes not good for your voice either.
I think that reefer she's smoking, something
Or
like weed or
whatever
something.
it is, right? It's reefer, okay, and then okay. But you know what? That's her. She made a choice to step away from the sport. Plenty of ladies step away from the sport, and then I know ladies who stepped away, and then after a few years, they get that itch to come back. Just saw a young lady who stepped away from bodybuilding. She said because her physique didn't work with the criteria for WPD. But I've seen ladies who are planning on making a return because they feel like I think this expensive sport, and also not being smart of what shows you pick. But then yeah, there's a lot of political stuff as involved in it because again, it's a sport where it's there's so much involved with it. It's popularity, who has the best physiques, what's presented from the stage, and if you're competing with like every division, especially figure, where you got way more competitors, way more bodies, and you have to really stand out. You know, it's just that's how it is sometimes. And yes, you're gonna be disenfranchised. You don't come in sport thinking that you're gonna be an Olympian. There's a lot of ladies who try to shoot for the Olympia. It's a tough, to get to that level. It takes time. If you're lucky for you to make it, good. If not, then hey.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know what to say to her. I mean, that's something that she probably could have done some homework, but I don't know. A lot of these women, they do it to improve themselves better, and then somebody kind of like they improve themselves like in terms of going to the gym. Some of them they had like weight problems where they was overweight and stuff like that, and then somebody probably convinced them to compete, or they probably themselves convinced themselves to compete, and things don't always go the way it they want it to go, and some stick around, some don't. um yeah, so if she moved on, she moved on, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I've seen I think I showcased this to that lady, I forgot her name, but another bodybuilder and stuff. And she said the same thing, a little bit similar to you, but yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, she just stood out to me because of the show she did. She was acting, and in the video where she plays this high schooler that gets bullied, she was overweight, and like the girls was bullying her when she was overweight as a kid, and then when she works out, as a bodybuilder, she still get teased and stuff. So, I just pointed that out, on the video that we seen with her. But moving on, you gonna say something else?
Yeah, sometimes no win for losing. If you are too far to one end of the spectrum, like if you are too fit, then there's something wrong with you. Too fat, there's something wrong with you. There's just there's no best word to say. There's no win for losing. But you know what? You gotta live for yourself. You can't live for anybody else. And that's the problem.
Yeah. Well, the next clip we got is this.
Number 102 from Bedford, Texas, Betty Pariso. Number 3 from Santa Monica, California, Carmen Brady. Number 4 from Brooklyn, New York, Robin Parker. Number 105 from Palmyra, New Jersey, Tina Lockwood. Number 106 from Washington, D.C., Jennifer Greenbaum. Number 107 from Spartanburg, South Carolina, Mary Samuel. Number 108 from Newark, Delaware, Kimberly Thompson. Number 109 from Roseville, Minnesota, Chris Bongiovanni. Number 110 from Junction City, Oregon, Jacqueline Till. Number 111 from Austin, Texas, Susan Kaminga. Number 112 from McLean, Virginia, Darlene Miller. Those are your heavy.
Some of these chicks I've seen, like Sue Kaminsa, I've seen in Women's Physique World and stuff. I never seen them compete on stage, but that's the show Tina Lockwood was competing and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and male they like Eric Kearns, Sue Price, no, sorry, Betty Pariso. Some of they became IB pros. Betty Pariso, she's running her own federation, but she was planning on doing something, but then she stepped back because something happened with her husband. He was going through recovery of cancer treatments, and they used to have their own show, the Europa, but then after a while they cut it back bit by bit, and then they decided to go off do their own thing, and a lot of stuff was happening, and one thing about Petty was when she came in the game, she was struggling, but then she started doing the crab pose, which is the most muscular, and that
Right.
gave her more attention, placed her a little better. She reached it like quite a few Olympias, all the way up to she worked with the heavyweight class.
Mm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I think you told me that one before. But I didn't never really follow her like that. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, were you gonna say something?
Yeah, there's a picture of her where she's got a blue wig on, and she's like shaved, kind of like a Terminator thing. And there's one where she's dressed
Yeah.
up in some kind of stuff, and she's doing the crab pose, sticking her tongue out. Those are probably what really made her stood out. And they also made her, she's a mother. Her son just passed away about a couple of years ago. She was a
Yeah.
housewife.
Yeah,
She
I
had
think she
kids.
was starting to not to cut you off, she was starting this new league or something like that. And then I think her husband got cancer or something like
Yeah,
that.
he was
Then
going through cancer recovery, and then because even though he
yeah,
had the cancer, the recovery is the one thing. So they had to take a step back. Someone else was supposed to run it, but I don't know. It really hadn't really took off. There was a bunch of bodybuilders who would jump onto that thing, but then once it didn't take off, now they had to find a way to get back to the NPC and the IPD.
yeah. Well, God bless her. Best wishes. The last clip I'll play is China. Yeah, she was like a muscle woman that in the 90s in Russell. She was a wrestler, superstar. Yeah, yeah, you see the process, her evolution, 99, and then when you go further down to 2000s, that's when you start seeing her deteriorating. Yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah, she was on a reality show for addiction. It helped out
Yeah.
a good bit. But then, she did the those videos with her then at the time her fiance X Pac. You know, well, a night in China. And you know me about a night in China. She died so
Mm.
young. I mean, 46. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
I
I,
mean,
I I think I remember Mario Lopez did a show with her where she was like the villain and she was beating up all the guys up. Like I think they were like cops or something like that. And
Pacific
she
Blue.
was
I remember that
taking,
show.
yeah,
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 Hunter and Shawn Michaels on like a couple. No, was on an episode once.
yeah,
Yeah, she was also on Third Rock from the Sun. She played a cop
yeah.
on
I
there.
remember that episode. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's the just going back to the 90s and the 2000s a bit, and yeah, you see some positives and some negatives with women bodybuilders and stuff. So the good, the bad, and ugly. So that's why I pointed like put it together, pointed out certain things. Yeah. So I appreciate you hopping on and you know telling your insight on it. And yeah, that's about it.
all
So
right.
yeah. Till next time. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, comment, subscribe, whatever. Yeah, we out.
Good night.
Night.